In order to have a growing, thriving, successful, sustainable, independent personal training business, there are 3 things you must be good at. That is generating leads, closing sales, and retaining clients. I mean, without those things, you will struggle to build your dream business. So in this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 things I've done, the 5 things that I have worked hard at in order to be good at those 3 things in my independent business. So welcome to the Solo Trainer Podcast. This podcast is for personal trainer solopreneurs, those that are thinking about going on their own, and for those that have already taken the leap. And here you're going to be getting real stories, expert advice, and coaching strategies to help you create a thriving business. I am Ginger Seamus. I am your host. I am a wife, a mom. I live in the Northern Virginia area, and I have had my own independent business for almost 9 years. So let's dig into defining those 3 things that you must be good at doing in order to grow your business at first. Number 1, generating leads. Now, this is, of course, getting leads. Lead generation is about connecting with people that could be your potential clients. But this isn't just anybody. These are people that are your ideal clients. And it takes a lot of work to find and generate those leads, because just because you build and start your business, just doesn't mean they're automatically going to come. It just does not work that way. You have to go out there. You have to find them, let them know you exist, and invite them in. So that's all about generating leads. The second one is closing sales. There's no way to get away from it. You can't. People, unfortunately, they don't just work with us because because of our good looks and our charming, sparkling personalities that we have. There is an art to selling, and there's a way to do it that doesn't seem salesy. And this is just part of doing business, is you've got to get out there and sell yourself. I know that it's not fun, but it's essential. You've got to be able to be closing sales, to be able to show your value. The third thing is about retaining clients. So this can be sort of the easiest to do, but you can't get to retaining clients until you gain leads, you generate yourself some leads and you're closing sales. But there is a way to mess this up after they sign up with you. So you don't want to do that. You want to be able to confirm their decision to work with you, show your value, show that they can't live without you. So I'm going to be diving into the 5 things that I have done, that I've really worked on in order to create my thriving, successful business over almost the 9 years, where I'm at the point where I cannot take anyone else. I am at max capacity. And, I still have people that want to work with me, but unfortunately I can't take them right now. So before I dive into those, for those of you that are listening that are thinking about going on your own, or maybe you have already made that leap, but you're struggling on understanding the business aspect, you need to grab the Solo Trainer guidebook and checklist. It's a free tool that I've created that gives you all the actions that you need to do in order to start your business, to manage it, to run it, to grow it. It's everything I wish I had when I got started. So if you haven't gotten that already, be sure to click the link below and sign up for that. Okay, so moving on to these 5 things that I have done. And number 1 and number 2 have really helped me with the lead generation part of that. And again, not just generating just any leads, but my ideal client. Number 3 has all been about helping me better close sales. Number 4 has helped me with closing sales as well as client retention. And number 5 has pretty much helped me with all of those 3 things of generating leads, closing sales, and retaining clients. So the number one way to grow your business is referrals. And you probably have heard that. Hands down, it is the best way. And so if you want to grow your business with your ideal people, your ideal clients, it is about creating a referral system. So the first thing that I worked really hard on is creating a network and a referral system. I asked friends, I asked family, I let them know that about my new venture and I'm looking for new clients. I've asked there. I talked with my clients that were at the gym and my former clients. Now there was like this 90-day non-compete clause when I left the gym I was working for. So I wanted to abide by that. So I wasn't going to poach anyone. But how I had kind of got the word out about what I was doing and try to gain some more, leads from that is that I asked for testimonials from my clients and my former clients. I emailed them, let them know I was going out on my own or had gone out on my own when I decided maybe to do that. And then I was looking for testimonials and I'm looking for new clients. So especially people that already left the gym. If you have a non-compete clause at where your facility that you work at, please abide by that. I think that's becoming less of a thing these days. But, those maybe clients that you worked with before that left for one reason, maybe they left the gym, that kind of thing. Why not kind of reach back out to them? You can craft a little text or email that says that, I've gone on my own looking for testimonials and I'm looking to grow my business. If you're still need a trainer or somebody who does, please let me know. Now you might want to consider whether you want to give them a referral bonus or not, maybe a free session or something like that. I find that my clients, when I asked them, they didn't really care one way or the other whether they got a complimentary session because they referred somebody to me. But even in my business, when there were times when I had clients dropped off, I'd ask my current clients, say, hey, I have some openings and I'm looking to fill them. Do you know someone who'd be interested? And it's a great way to refer, because referrals are when somebody's already vouched for you and said that you're awesome and great, and that goes a long way. And the referrals also, they tend to already going to be your ideal client, especially when they're coming from your clients. Other things that I did was to find clients was network. I got out there, I talked with other healthcare professionals, from physical therapists to chiropractors to my doctor to wellness practitioners, functional medicine doctors, getting out there, trying to talk with as many, let them know about my services, also learn about their services so that you can refer your clients to them. And so I've gotten a lot of clients from physical therapists where I've worked with, chiropractor, that kind of thing. So other small business owners, get out. If you're in a community, let them know what you're doing, and maybe there's some way that you can collaborate or connect that, small businesses like to support other small businesses. The other thing that I did was I got involved in the local Facebook group, one specifically that was sort of a wellness fitness type group local in my area, and I did get a client from that because people will post on there time to time, I'm looking for a trainer, and depending on the group rules, you might be able to post on there that you're looking for someone. And the big thing about is thinking about where your ideal clients are and where they go and what they're involved with, and trying to get where they are in those locations. So if you have a certain demographic, but it's not necessarily around your area that you live in, and they maybe live in another area, which was me when I was first went out on my own, the area I lived in didn't have my demographic individuals that I was looking for. This other area in the Northern Virginia area did. So that's where I had to concentrate my focus on, not on the area I currently lived. And once you start picking up clients, your business will start to grow faster because those clients will tell other people. You'll have more people to get referrals from. So it can be kind of slow in the beginning. You might get a lot of no's. That's common. But once you start getting traction, you start getting clients with you under your business, it can start growing. It can start growing pretty regularly, because now, more people are getting to know that you've got more people that can ask, you can ask for referrals. Now, I just wanted one thing to think about. It's like some people have asked me, have said, should I give special pricing for people just so I can get started with people? Should I discount my sessions? And my suggestion is no. And the reason for that is that they may not be your ideal client. If they're needing a discount to work with you, they might honestly not be your ideal client. And it can be difficult later when you could be filling that session. You can have someone that might be you might have one-off person, and you're just this one person, but you don't want to fill your book with clients of people that ultimately can't maybe afford you full price. And so it's going to be really hard to tell them, no, you can't trade them anymore, or that you're going to have to increase your prices. So I recommend that you stick to the price that you feel that is your value and what you deserve, and not base it off of other people. Trust me, this will be in the long run what you need, and which actually leads to number 2 of the thing that I did really well at, and that was at pricing my services. When I left the gym I was working with, which was a high-end fitness facility, I talked about in the previous video. So I worked for Equinox, and it's not a cheap gym to be a part of. The personal training prices are more on the high end. But I honestly saw no reason when I left Equinox not to charge per session what they were charging. I believed in the value and the education and everything that I brought to the table, that I didn't see any reason. There was no reason for me not to. So I started my prices around what Equinox was charging. The other thing that I think is real important is that I did packages. People could buy single sessions, but I grouped in packages. First, I had packages of 4, 8, and 12. And then I simplified it even more, and I had packages of 6 and 12. I won't get into right now why I picked my numbers. I'll be on another video where I'll talk about pricing and picking, how you ought to do it. But packages are a good way to have with people, because one, they can feel like they're getting more of a deal. If you're like, my hourly rate is this, your package, my 12 pack was what I minimally wanted to make per hour. It was the minimum. So my hourly rate was a good $20 more or whatever per hour, whatever it was, 30, I don't know, than what that rate was. So when it makes them feel like, okay, we're getting more of a bargain if I buy more sessions, it also makes your bookkeeping a lot easier, because you're not having to chase people down for every single session. If you do a single session rate, you got to keep track of how many sessions that people have remaining, but it makes things a lot easier when people are just buying 12 packages at a time. The other thing is a commitment thing. There's some time period of when you're working with someone that it takes a bit to sort of get to know each other, get the flow, get them to start seeing results, that sort of thing. And so if you're just going it by session charging, they may not stay as committed to see things through, versus with 12 sessions, especially the 2 times a week, they allows them to see 6 weeks of your training. And so one, I think pricing my services well, I didn't compromise, although I did some. There were some mistakes I did make for pricing my services. I'm not going to get into them. I'm actually going to do that for another video. But in general, pricing my services, I did well. So that actually brought a good income stream in for me. It also helped to qualify more my clientele that I was working with. And then creating packages that help create commitment more from my clients is what helped me as far as creating a thriving business. And like I said, there's mistakes that I made about my pricing. I'm going to get into those in the next episode of this. So the thing is that you can have all the leads in the world, but if you can't show them the value that you provide and be able to ask them, hey, what do you think you're going to work with me? If you don't have that confidence in that, it it doesn't matter if you have all these leads. So this leads to the third thing that I really worked hard at developing in order to grow my business, and that was crafting a very confident sales funnel. Doing sales makes trainers nervous. It makes me nervous. I still get nervous meeting with a new potential client and walking into that process till the point that I know that they have said yes. And even after they said yes, you still you gotta make sure you're doing a good job so they stick around, right? And they buy that next package. But I often hear trainers say that they don't like working on a gym because they don't like it because it's so focused on sales. Well, sales are just part of business. It is. And there's a way that you can do sales where it's not seeming so salesy. And, the gyms focus on sales because they want you to thrive. And if you do, you've got to do sales. And yes, they do need to make money off of you. So they have their own things as well. And of course, if you're working for someone that all their focus is on them hitting their numbers and not you, that's going to make not a pleasant environment to stay in. I totally get that. I understand that. But sales it's part of having a business. And so you've got to figure out how to make sales easier for you. And another thing that I often hear trainers say, and it literally just happened the other week. I was talking with someone who just left on her own. She's like, if they just started working with me, they would just see how much I can help them and how much they enjoy it and all that. But unfortunately, we can't get to that point. And that's true. We know that we can really help people, but we can't ever get to the point of just, of them seeing the true value and enjoying it and being like, oh my gosh, this is a great investment, because it is a huge investment, but it's a great investment and I'm so glad I did it and I love it. We can't get to that point unless we can get past the point of showing our value and our worth and getting to say yes to working with you. So I know it sucks, sales sucks, but there's a way, like I said, that you can do it that's not so salesy. And so it can take a bit to figure out what that system looks for you. And my system of crafting that started when I was working at a gym. And so I was trying to figure out how could I make the conversation easier, especially when I get to the selling point. And so I started thinking about what is it that I want to ask them in that first conversation? What do I want to share with them about what I do, the value I can provide, how I can help them, how I'm different, and to talk about pricing, to talk about how much it costs to work with me with confidence. That whole flow, how is my connection with them between after I've got them, said yes to a comp session. What does that look like in between until I see them for a comp session? That comp session, how is my comp session designed so that I am focusing on them, what they need, and showing that value that I bring and how I'm different. And then even up to the point afterwards. And like I said, I still get nervous about this process, but having this system in place, and of course I've been doing this for a lot of years, but I still have like a routine with it, helps to totally have increased my conversion rates from the gym to even working for myself. And so you've got to think about that system and what that looks like for you and what looks comfortable for you. If you want more ideas of that, I have other videos and stuff that I've done it for, but I have a course that if you are looking for ideas on help with that, I actually have a product on our website that's available, the Client Conversion Blueprint. And it's a course that walks you through literally my step-by-step process of going from, confident, from that initial conversation all the way to the end. I give scripts, I give email templates, I give assessment, initial intake forms done for you, all of that. So go check that out. You can find the link for that in below. But part of closing sales and part of your sales is showing them that you have a plan, a solution to whatever their problem is. And for doing that, you've got to talk about your programming. And so this is the fourth thing that I've really worked hard to, that thing that has really helped me to be successful in that business is providing quality programming. I create and develop personalized programs for my clients that we follow for 4 weeks. I don't wing it. I don't do whatever comes to my mind. And I have had many clients tell me the reason they enjoy working with me over another trainer is because I have a plan. I have a program. And they get such better results when they do. When you have a program you're following and you're consistent with and just not coming up with whatever. And I'm really emphasized because I'm surprised to hear, but then I saw it when I was working in other gyms too, of trainers that don't develop and create programs. They put their clients through whatever workout. There's not really, one, a strategy behind it, or two, seem to relate to their goals. And you really are doing a disservice to yourself and to your clients by not crafting, not creating programs. So if programming is one of those things that's very challenging for you, which it didn't, like, once I got my training certification, programming, can't say that I understood it all completely. I had done group exercise, and so I had some experience with programming classes to some extent and all that, but really my programming grew from the certification courses and classes that that I took, and it has developed over time. So if you're not great at programming, I really suggest you diving in, finding ways to improve, learn how to program. I have something else on my website for this, that I understand programming, the Solo Trainer programming templates, which are ways for you to craft and save your programs. And then my playbook, my programming playbook, where I talk about my methodology for programming. So you might want to check that out if you're interested in it. But you having quality program, you will stand out among other trainers, among others out there. And this, which leads to the fifth thing that I have worked, that I do, that has helped me create a successful business. And again, this one helps with leads, sales, and client retention. And that is giving above and beyond service. Like, when I am meeting with someone, it's such a privilege. I don't see them as someone that I can just get money from, that's going to be paying me. I see this as somebody that I get to help, and it is such a privilege and honor to be able to do that. And I just want to give them the best service as possible. I mean, I know they're investing a lot of money. They're putting a lot of trust in me. And what would I expect in return if I was doing the same thing? If I'm spending a lot of money on a service, what are the expectations of how that person would act, would show, would make me feel with working with them? And, this is things from my professionalism, my follow-ups via text or emails to check on them, celebrating milestones, things that are special in their life, making them very comfortable, meeting them wherever they are. So they're just making them feel like they have really made the right decision, and they just enjoy working with me, and they don't want to leave. And this isn't about being manipulative. It's about treating just other people how you would want to when, again, you're paying a lot for a service. So about in your business, is there stuff you could do that would go above and beyond to show them the value, show them what you can bring, show how awesome you are? So that kind of ends up sharing the 5 things, again, that I have done to help create a sustainable, successful business. And if you are one who is, again, thinking about going on your own and haven't yet, or you've already made that leap and you're struggling and you're wondering what you need to do in your business, what you might be missing, get the Solo Trainer guidebook and a checklist and go through that. It's free. It's everything. Again, I'm handing this off to you. If you are struggling to grow your business, if you are struggling with generating leads and closing sales or client retention, think of the things that I've just shared with you and really take some time to see where you might need to make some shifts and changes in order to show those people out there, find those people out there, show them your value, and then keep them around for the long haul. Now, I've not done everything perfectly in my business. By no means have I. And in fact, in the next episode here, I'm going to be sharing the 5 big mistakes that I have made in my business so that hopefully you can learn from them and you won't be doing the same. So if you're watching this via YouTube, when that video is available, it'll be right up here in this corner. Otherwise, when that video is available, it'll be in the show notes below for those listening on Apple and Spotify. Until next time, here's the great that awaits.